What do you buy money with? With money. But this isn't true for everyone. Some people grow money, others get buried under it. The difference starts small, but it grows over time. You borrow 100. That's your principal. The deal sounds simple. Use it now, pay it back later, but there's a condition. With a little extra, that extra is interest. Simply put, the cost of using money, and that cost grows over time. At first, it looks simple. You take 100, you return 110. That's simple interest. But the system doesn't stop there, because that extra starts growing too. So it's not just what you borrowed, what's added on grows as well. That's called compound interest. And the logic is simple. What grows faster over time. And what drives that growth is time. The duration. The longer the time, the bigger the effect. Small gaps at first begin to widen. But this isn't just math. There's also risk involved, because not everyone pays back. That's why rates vary. That's called a risk premium. And there's something you don't see. Money doesn't hold the same value. What 100 buys today might not be the same tomorrow. So two things appear, what you see and what actually remains. That's the nominal versus real difference. You may look like you're gaining, but you might just be standing still. This is where the system becomes clear. It's neutral. The same system grows one person and drags another down. What's the difference? How you use it. If you use it right, a small advantage grows. If you use it wrong, a small mistake grows. And the most dangerous part, you don't notice it at the beginning, because early changes are small. But over time, small things don't stay small. People think about today. The system thinks in time. That's why everything feels under control at first. But as time passes, the balance shifts quietly. And at some point, the system moves faster than you do. And from that moment on, small differences become big outcomes. Same time, same system, but different outcomes. Some things start slow, then accelerate, and by the time you notice, it's already grown. Banks don't store money, they control it. And what is controlled is not just money, your time, your choices, your speed. You think your money belongs to you, but what really matters is not where it sits, but how it moves. And that movement is often not controlled by you. You open an account, you get a card, everything looks simple, but in the background, there is constant evaluation, risk, time, behavior. And based on that, invisible decisions are made. Who gets speed? Who gets slowed down? These decisions seem small, but their effects are not. One gets opportunity, another waits. One moves forward, another circles. And as time passes, the gap widens. Some move forward, some think they do, but in reality, they stay in place. They work, they earn, they spend, but they don't move forward. Because the issue is not just how much you earn. The real issue is how that money moves. And that speed is not the same for everyone. Banks don't shout, they don't explain, they simply regulate the flow. You think you're choosing, but most of the time you choose from what you're given. And this is the real question. Are you really moving forward, thinking you are? And the deeper question, are you really in control? Or does it just look like you are? The system has invisible rules. You exist within them. You don't choose them. Money is not just money. It is made of numbers. It is not paper or metal. It is a flow. You think you earn it, but you actually access it to time, to choices, to speed. Money begins as debt. A number is created. Credit is issued. Money comes into existence. This is where it starts. Then you pay it back with your time, with your years. Debt looks powerful, but it always has a cost. The system is neutral. Some use it, others are used by it. Standing still isn't enough. It responds to your behavior. The user controls the system. The used one gets consumed. There is another layer. Money loses value. What you bought yesterday costs more today. You realize it later. That is inflation. Value shifts. Growth, spending, circulation. Money must keep flowing. The system pushes you to spend, work, earn, spend. The system drives this behavior. It keeps the cycle alive. The Cantillon effect. The way power is determined. You are in the same place, but you don't have the same things. Because time is different for you and for others. You were late. They used that power, that money, on time. They bought when it was cheap. This is where the difference began. They took the opportunity. You bought when it was expensive. Their money gained value. Yours lost value. They used their advantage. You were left outside the game, getting it first, getting it later. This is where the gap begins. They determined the value, they used leverage. You moved with decreasing power. They moved with the system. You were alone. The gap widened. The distance didn't close. They kept growing more. By the time you noticed, it had already happened. They stood in the right place. Money entered the system. They got it first. The money and everything else. You bought at the price they set. You played by their rules. Pareto principle. Leverage. Network effect. Information asymmetry. First mover advantage. Path dependence. Power law. They had all of it. In the market, buy, sell, win, lose. Wait. You don't set the price. Time is not yours. There are those who control the flow. The chart is the same. but viewers are different. Rise accumulation, fall opportunity. The whale sees everything. It sees you too. You can't see. You move randomly. It collects liquidity. You trade. It uses you. Money waits. You rush. The whale waits patiently. You get bored. It plans. You hope. Early entry takes. Late entry pays. You follow the trend. It starts the trend. You read the news. It makes the news. It has already taken position. You try to understand. It has already decided. Where liquidity is, movement is there. Where stops our price goes there. You try to protect. It wipes you out. Leverage more. You lost. Rewind. The cycle begins. Profit, lost. Not a coincidence. Everything is a system, but the whale runs the game. The difference starts small. It grows over time. You are late. The market is not equal. Information, time, power, not equal. Some win, most lose. The market is not luck, a game of power. Those who see early, those who know, those who wait, win. Bull, bear. Bull runs, bear takes. You watch. They decide.